Okay, coming back online. Last Facebook Live got hijacked a few minutes ago. So the topic tonight is 500 million reasons you need an app, working smarter, and then, of course, closing. So when I talk about closing, I'm going to be talking about not sales, just in general. Do you close? Do you finish? Do you do what you say you are going to do? So I'm starting to find a lot of people out there. They're just, I'm not saying they're fakers. What I'm saying is that they just say they're going to do things, and I guess they're just either making conversation or trying to get some sort of feel out of me as far as like if they should do something or not. So that's what we're going to talk about. So the first thing is 100 million reasons you need an app. And first of all, the App Store about 2 or 3 weeks ago released a statement that the average unique visitors to the App Store per week, 500 million. 500 million. That is worldwide. That is only for the iOS App Store. So for iPhone only. So Google is probably getting, I bet you Google's getting more traffic because there's way more Android users and Android phones in this world than there are iPhones. I live in San Francisco, everybody has an iPhone, but if I go 50 miles inland to where my brother lives in Sacramento, everybody's got Androids. So 500 million unique people going to the App Store every week. That's worldwide. Probably 20% of that is the United States. That's 100 million people going into the App Store every week. That's why you need an app. You must have an app. I mean, first of all, everybody that's going on to your website or finding information like a product category of whatever product you sell, whether it's fitness, dog products, retail items like shirts, blouses, anything like that, people are searching for that on the web. So there's 500 million people going into the App Store, and it turns out that about 60% of the apps that people install on their phone, they actually searched. So people are actually going in to the App Store and they're searching for particular things. Shoes, hats. And then when these apps come up, they're installing the apps and using those apps. So that's how you get new customers, okay? Like, you're missing out on half of the people. Like, if you're a website and you're doing very well and you're not reaching out to that other app side of the market, all those people are searching for products. All those people are searching for you. Reached out to a guy the other day, talked to, his name is Jake Mace. Look him up on YouTube or Instagram, Jake Mace, M-A-C-E, J-A-K-E-M-A-C-E, Jake Mace, very easy. He does Tai Chi, he does Chinese yoga, he does Kung Fu, and he's a vegan, and he makes videos, and he's got like hundreds of thousands of people. If he posts a video, he gets literally like 300,000 people. So I went to his website. His website was okay. And then I was like, well, hey, I want to learn Tai Chi, you know. So I searched from the App Store, and there were like 3 apps in the App Store, and they were all crap. There might have been like one of them might have been a game even. So right there, I mean, how many people are searching for Tai Chi in the App Store? Right? How many people are searching for like working out and stuff like that? So if you have a product and you have, you know, you need to be in there. You need to be in there. It's not for everybody. I'm not going to say that, but you know, because there's certain things an app might not apply to your business. Now, to think about a way that an app applies to your business, just think of 3 simple things. Can you increase leads? Can you get more sales and leads? Can you reduce a cost? And can you reduce manpower within your business? Right? Like, is payroll a big cost? You know, would developing a mobile app cut that cost? Would it get rid of an employee? So you're getting rid of manpower, right? So those are the reasons. Those are the 3. Increase leads and sales, reduce cost, reduce manpower. If you can do one of those 3, you need to be in there now. If you're a restaurant, you need an app, right? Like, how many people sit at your restaurant and look, like, if you own a restaurant or work in a restaurant, the next time you were there and people are sitting there ordering food and they're looking at menus, see how many are on their phone going to Yelp and looking at pictures of your food. Like, I guarantee there's like at least 25% of the people in the restaurant in a night are looking up photos of the food on your menu. Why not just have an iPad that has pictures of all your food? We're all visual people, you know what I mean? Like, I want to see what the food looks like before I eat. I walk around. Do you know when I go to a restaurant? So here's a fun fact. Try this. When you go to a restaurant and you do not know what to eat, or you're kind of like wondering, should I get this or should I get that? Before you order, stand up and walk around the restaurant and look at everybody's table and see what they're eating. That's a good way to do it. Like, I actually do that all the time when I'm in a restaurant, and I don't see anybody else doing it, but I want to see what the food actually looks like. So shit, if I could have it on a mobile app and just see the menu from the mobile app, I mean, I could order from the app as well, but ideally, I just want to see what the food looks like. So anyways, there are some thoughts why you need an app. 100 million reasons you need it. There's 500 million people a week searching in the App Store for apps, just searching for apps. Hard to believe. Man, how many people are on Earth? Like 500 million? This is what Apple's saying. Seems like fake news. 500 million unique a week? Unique a week. Unique a week. What's that times 52? That seems like more people than are on Earth. So maybe that stat ain't real. But anyways, there's a lot. So keep that in mind. Okay, so let's talk about working smarter, right? Everybody's always saying, oh, I want to work harder, I want to work smarter. Well, you still got to work hard. But one thing I did last week that I'd like to pass along to you, and this is web related, so I'm redoing my website. The last time I redid my website was 2012. So if you look at my site now, you'll say, wow, it looks old, it's tired, needs some work, what's up? Yeah, I know, but in 2012, that site was state of the art, okay? I was one of the first people to have a responsive website, like before people even had like iPhones almost. You can imagine that. So I decided I wanted to make a website, redo my website. So I figured out all the components I needed, and then what I did is I went to a website called Template Heaven. Template Heaven. Go to that website. If you are looking to design really any kind of website, you could hire a designer, and then you could pay the designer to do all the stuff for you, or you just go to Template Heaven. And what Template Heaven has is like, they have like thousands of website templates, and I bought two. So the first one I bought, I did this on an Instagram feed. I wish I could share my screen. Kind of sucks that you can't, but so what I did is I bought two websites. The first one I bought, so I needed a landing page for a mobile app I'm creating. I'm creating a mobile app. It's a golf teaching app, and I needed a hey, thanks for all the hearts and the likes and everything, everybody. I dig that. Thank you. So I needed a so you know, like when you create a mobile app, the first thing you want to do is create a web page for it, and then and you know, like social accounts like Instagram and Facebook, and then you can post things on there, and so people can kind of see some screenshots of your app, and you ask them for their email so that when you actually launch the app, you have some email, some like pre-customers. And what we're going to do with this one is, if you give us your email on this app, we're going to actually give you access to the app to help us test the app before we launch it. So like 30 days before we launch the app, we're going to release it to the people that have actually given their email on this site. So I had to create a site. Well, I've been creating websites since 1998. I have probably in my arsenal like 50, code-wise, like 50 websites that I could just take a folder on my machine, drop it in, change the logo, change the color, change the links, and I got a website. But the problem is all those templates that I've created over the years are old. And they take me time to create. And so this template heaven, what it is, it's just a bunch of people that submit templates. So I went on there, and there's actually a category for app launch pages. And I went through and I started looking at them. I have the coolest freaking template. I paid $17 for it. $17, and I'm going to have to do about probably like 8 hours worth of work, because I got to change out the logo and add my screenshots in there. I'm going to change some colors. I'm actually going to put a video as the background. It's going to be rad. Wait till you see this thing. It's going to be amazing. So when you do see it, and if you put your email in, you'll have access to the app. It's a golf instructional app with music. It's freaking rad. Wait till you see this thing. It's going to be amazing. And we will give you access to it like a month early. You can help us test it and see if it helps you improve your swing, your game, your timing. Hit the ball longer, hit the ball further if you're into golf. And if not, you can just check out the design I created for this app. This design I created for this app is awesome. I mean, it's good. You know, I'm a developer, but I also have an eye for design, and I can create design. So anyway, so that's the template. So that's working smarter right there. Like, I could have created a web page based on some of the work I've done before, and that would save me some time. So that's technically working smarter, but the designs I have are pretty old, and these are just like new state-of-the-art designs, template heaven, and it's like $20, $17. And then so it was so good that I'm also going to, like I said, my personal website needs some work as well. So I bought another template. I went through, I mean, the longest it took me like probably over 2 hours to pick a template, because there was just so many of them, and I was looking for very specific things. You know, I was looking for it mainly to look better on mobile, and then web is web, like a computer is a computer. I'm not as worried about that. I really want it to look good on a mobile phone, because I know that 70% of the people that come to my website are on a mobile phone. They're coming to me from links I post on Facebook, from LinkedIn, and all these different places. So I know they're on their phone when they're clicking these links. So I want to give people that experience, a really good experience. So, you know, that's something. I mean, there's got to be ways in what you do, right? Maybe this applies to you. Maybe you're looking to do a website, to recreate a website. One of the things that a lot of people ask me about, and I help people with, I just advise them, I don't really do a lot of work, is like a lot of people want to start a blog, right? For maybe, like I have a buddy, he's a landscape architecture, his name's Yovo, and he has a blog, and it's a WordPress blog, but he's not technical in any sort of way, so it's hard for him to you know, to go in and post a blog post. It's not overly difficult for him, but like if there's some sort of layout on his page that's messed up, that's an issue for him, right? So if he can think of a way or come up with a way, maybe it's Wix. WordPress is pretty easy. There's this, I think it's called Squarespace now. They have kind of a build your own website template. That's an option. But here's the thing, man. We're talking about working smarter here, so don't think you have to go in and learn WordPress programming or Wix. Like if you go onto Wix and you like one of the templates and you go, hey, this will work well for my site and I can have a blog on it, dude, I would tell you to go onto like Fiverr, which is a website, Fiverr, go onto Fiverr and hire somebody to build it out for you. Or wherever, I mean, because even if you paid, let's say you got a template on Wix or Template Heaven or one of these other ones, and it cost you $20 for the template, and then let's say you paid somebody like $300 to actually change everything out that you need. Well, how many hours would it take you to do it? You know, so because it's the risk reward, right? Let's say it takes you 10 hours to learn how to do it yourself. But after 10 hours, let's say you just knew it, and then from that point forward, you can always do it. it's totally worth it. But if you can't learn it in 10 hours, and let's just say you make $50 an hour, 50 times 10 is $500. If you can pay somebody $300, pay somebody $300. Save yourself 10 hours, right? There is value in learning things, not devaluating that. If you do not have $500 to spend, then you got to learn. Like, that's how I became a developer. In 1998, I came up with an idea for a website. In 1999, when I started building it, you probably weren't even alive then, maybe you were. That's when people were spending like $100,000 for a website, because nobody knew how to build websites, and companies, they were just basically taking their catalogs of products and putting that catalog onto the web, and it was like pre.com, and there was just all this money coming in, and people were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and all this time to build websites. And I came up with an idea, and I tried to raise some money. I wasn't able to raise money, and so at the same time I was in a master's program, and so I just decided, what the heck, I'll learn to program this thing myself. And so I put in a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of hours. Good news is, it made me one hell of a developer. Ended up being a web developer, back-end, a front-end engineer. Now I'm a mobile developer. So I know how to do all of that stuff just because I went out and learned. So if you want to learn that, it wasn't my long-term plan to be a developer. My long-term plan was to get that site built and create a business, which I did for a while, and that business ended, and then I did it again, and then I did it again. And now I'm just, but of all the businesses I've started and ran, my primary skill is software engineering, development, front-end engineering, back-end engineering, and mobile development. That's the primary skill. So when I start a business, when I look at a business, it's always at that angle. Okay. Cool. Got some people joining tonight. By the way, if you have questions about apps, you can put them in the comments and I'll answer them. You can email me, jeremycallahan.com. You could hit me on Facebook Messenger. It's probably not the best place because I see your message, and if I don't reply right away, then it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. So hit me on jeremycallahan.com. My email is on that website. It's just jeremy@jeremycallahan.com. Real original, right? Cool. So let's talk about the final topic of the night is closing. So let me ask you something. Are you a closer? I'm not talking about sales. Although you could, if you are in sales, then we know if you're a closer or not. Your record speaks for itself. In my industry, software engineering, when I talk about closers, I'm talking about people that get shit done every time. Not half the time, not some of the time. Let me tell you how we work, okay? So the way development works is, and this is like every company in the world, we come up with a plan of, let's say it takes us 12 weeks to do a project from beginning to end. And what everybody's doing is they're breaking it into 2-week chunks. So what they do is they say, okay, they call them sprints. So they'd say 2 weeks, how many is that? 12. So there's going to be 6 of those, right? So 2 weeks, week 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 4 and 5. So all the way through until we get to 12 weeks. So we break it into 2-week chunks. So in the first 2 weeks, we're going to do this. And what we do is we get all the developers in the room, and we have this giant list of everything we have to do to launch an app. And we go, okay, here's what we're going to do in the first 2 weeks. Here's what we're going to do in the second 2 weeks, third 2 weeks, so on and so forth. I don't know. I don't think it's clear what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say is the developers actually pick what they're going to do in that 2-week chunk, right? The project manager doesn't. The business analyst doesn't. The owner of the company doesn't. The developers go, well, I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at that, and it's going to take this much time, and so here's how much work I can do in a 2-week period. And then the following 2 weeks, we can do this this work, and then everything else is just kind of there. We'll plan that work a little later. Well, if you're picking your work, like I'm not picking the work you do, the developer's picking the work he does. They're actually saying, okay, in 2 weeks, this is what I'm going to do. So if you can't do the work you said you're going to do in a 2-week period of time, you picked it. I didn't pick it. They didn't pick it. Someone else didn't. You picked the work you're going to do in a 2-week period of time, and now you can't do it? You're not a pro. You're no closer. You're an amateur. Like, you're literally an amateur. And that is, in my business, in software engineering, that's what separates the pros from the amateurs. The guys that say what they're going to do, and then they accomplish what they're going to do. And trust me, I know what you're thinking, especially if you're a developer. So I hear this shit all the time. It's like, well, you know, this came up and we're waiting on the team over there. We can't finish our work until they finish, and and John got sick. And dude, again, you said you were going to do this work in 2 weeks. Why can't you get it done? Right? Like, actually, I don't even care why you can't get it done. You said you were going to do it. You got to do it. If you got to stay late, so be it. You got to stay late, man. You think, like, what is it? It's 6:58 right now on a Tuesday night. I'm still in the office. I got here this morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning with my offshore team in India. I've been at this shit for 12 hours already today. And I'm going to go and do more work when I get home, right? So don't sit around and tell me you can't get something done, especially when you pick the work out. And this is just me personally, man. I like in my work and what we do here, as far as developing apps and things, but I'm sure it applies to your work. Like, think of your work. Think of the people that you work with. Who's closing? Who are the closers? Who are the men and the women who get things done constantly, no matter what? They always deliver. Like, let's say you're in customer service. Let's say in customer service, I'll tell you a story about my dad. In customer service, they were required at the company he worked with, this is like 15 years ago, to make 130 calls a day, to close 130 calls a day, tickets, right? And so he went in, and every month for 14 months straight, he got an award for the most closed tickets at his company. I mean, and the funny thing is, when he tells the story, he goes, Jeremy, all I did was what I was supposed to do. And I didn't do anything more. I just did the 130, right? And I just did the 130, and that was it. And nobody else could do it. But I mean, maybe management should have made the people more accountable for actually finishing their stuff and doing their things. But he was getting an award for just doing what the baseline was. So think of that. Like, how many people in that company are? I mean, there's one guy that's doing all the closing, right? My brother, same way. My brother works for. He's a Repo Man. I like that. I like saying that, Jeff. My brother is a Repo Man, so what he does is he just locates vehicles. He calls the owners of vehicles of people who haven't been paying their car payments, and then he calls a tow truck driver and he says, "Oh, hey, this vehicle's parked at this location. Go grab it." So these people are all hiding that aren't paying their bills. If you are not paying your car payment, speaking of closing, you are not a closer. Just give the car back. What are you doing? Come on. So anyways, he has to, every month, he's got some, like, I don't understand, well, I don't remember the commission structure that he has. And he's got this commission structure, right? And basically, let's say he has to find 25 cars in a month in order to make his commission, to make his payment, basically to get paid. He has to find 25 cars. So if he has a good month and he gets 35, great. But guess what happens? Well, guess what's happening to him on Thursday? On March 1st, he's resetting. So however many cars in February, however, he could have the best January, the best February, and he's on the hook for January or for March, right? If he doesn't produce in March, he didn't get paid. If he doesn't produce in April, he doesn't get paid. Like, that's impressive, man. That's like running your own business. That's like doing your own thing. Like, if you're an entrepreneur and you're out there, you know, if you don't deliver, if you don't close, it's not getting done. So if you are on the other side of this, if you're an employee, if you're a slacker, if you're a person that makes excuses, whatever it may be, whether it's in your job, physically, you're not extra, dude, whatever it is, if you're on the other side of this, take note. You got to change your mindset about it. You got to develop an idea that you're always going to finish. Look, man, people don't take you serious if you don't finish. People don't take you serious if I come to you and I say, hey, you know what? I'm getting a little fat. I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym for the next 60 days and start working out. And I'm going to develop a habit of going to the gym, right? Like, I'm telling you this right now. But there's no reason for me to tell you this. I can just go to the gym and do it. And in 60 days, I can tell you, you can see me and go, wow, you look great. I said, well, yeah, I started working out and, you know, I lost some weight. That's cool. Like, people are going to give me praise at that point in time. They're actually going to, in 60 days, if I just show up and I look better, people are going to say, notice. Number one, they're going to notice. Number two, they're going to say, what are you doing? And they're going to give you praise. Right? Right now, I'm going to say, well, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to start going to the gym every day. I went yesterday. I'm going to go today. I'm going to go for 60 days straight. You know, you're looking at me like 80% chance you fail on that one, buddy. It's true. Like, why do I need to tell you about it? What do I need to tell you about it to feel good about myself? Like, oh, hey, here's what I'm going to go do. So anyways, closing. You got to develop a mindset of just doing what you say you're going to do. You don't have to tell everybody what you're going to do. Just say, hey, if you say, well, I want to be a lawyer, I'm going to go to law school. Then go and do it and finish, close, get it done. Anyways, rambling a little bit tonight, but I think you get the idea that, you know, like, this world advances when you individually advance. If everybody on this planet advances a little bit every day, then the planet advances a little better every year, every turn of the globe, or spin around the sun, whatever. So, but if you're able-bodied, if you're not handicapped or disabled, excuse me, if you're not disabled and you're able-bodied, you should be starting and finishing things and closing and getting things done. That's it. So I'm going to sign off tonight. Want to thank everybody for joining tonight. Again, if you have questions about mobile apps, about really anything I talk about, websites, if you need help with technology, jeremycallahan.com. Post some questions. I will post answers. If you have an idea for an app, let me know about it. And I can teach you how to get started. I can help you. If you have a good idea, I could potentially work with you, partner with you. If you need to hire a developer that gets shit done, that closes, that always closes, that gets things done on time when they say they're going to get done on time, this is the face you want to work with. All right. Happy Tuesday, y'all. It's Taco Tuesday. I don't know. I eat tacos every day of the week, so what difference does? I don't need a day for that.